What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Mod Games, and today we are back with the Boomerang factory build. Now, in the previous episode 1 of this series, I mentioned that this was probably going to be a 5, maybe 6-part series. Today is episode 2, and we are basically continuing on today exactly where we left off in the previous episode. Now, that first video did really well. You guys seem to really enjoy the build so far, and we're really much further ahead in real life than we are with these videos. So you guys absolutely loved episode 1 and you thought it was great. I can tell you, stay tuned with this series. Do not abandon this series. Definitely keep watching this series, because this build is probably the most proud I've been of a build ever since Hogwarts Park. So I've got a lot of stuff I'm working on currently on the channel with different series, different parks, different stuff like that. But I think in the future I'm going to be focusing more on these one-off builds where I build a coaster and the scenery and put all the time and effort into that, rather than doing these whole parks. Whole parks are great, and we're going to carry on with the ones that we're currently doing on the channel. But these smaller projects where we do 5, maybe 6 episodes in a series and then a POV at the end, I just love these, and you guys are really going to enjoy them, I think. So definitely stay tuned with this one, because this one is just going to keep getting better and better. I'm still working on this, I'm still building this. If you want to watch this live, or you want to kind of see this in a more finished state, then definitely tune into my live streams, which I have been working on Monday to Friday around about 4 or 5 p.m. GMT or BST, which is right now British Standard Time currently. Because we have now moved this, as you can see, into the live stream park. Now, if you don't know what that is, this is a park that I only build live on stream. I don't work on it outside of the stream, only on stream, so you can stay up to date with the park as it happens in real time. And we do upload highlight videos and stuff to the channel. So everything you see from now on in this series has been built during those live streams. So there is going to be quite a few rides of this coaster. So you're going to see this coaster in POV mode, but in time-lapse versions quite a few times during this, where I'm showing people in the stream how the coaster rides. I will try and cut out most of them, but I'm probably going to end up accidentally leaving a few in. So hopefully I can get rid of most of them. But yeah, we are today carrying on with the exterior. So over the next couple of episodes, you will see the exterior grow and expand and kind of come into its completion. And then once that's happened, then we'll be working on the interior and stuff. So in this episode, we will be getting close to finishing just the shell of the main building. So in today's episode, we will be getting the back side of this building and the front side complete. I can't remember exactly if we start putting windows in today's episode. That may happen in a next episode, but we'll definitely get a lot of the main shell and structure of this building complete. So as you can see, we're just working a lot more on this side of the building right here. We're actually replacing a few of these wall pieces because they were actually the wrong color. I tried to kind of change the colors that were there previously, because the colors that were there on the walls originally were just the standard texture color of these wall pieces. So I wanted to swap them out, make sure I changed them so they weren't just standardized colors, kind of tone them more to the style of the building that I was going for. So the overall style, I guess you could say, would be more of a like 50s 60s kind of British factory. So hopefully you guys are going to start feeling that and seeing that kind of grow into this bigger factory kind of piece as this episode goes along. So far, all of the wall pieces and all of the buildings in this factory so far have been made from traditional brick or stone brick. This section here, which is the back left-hand side of the station, which actually houses the 2 main lift hills for the ride. This whole section is going to be made out of tin. So as you can see, I have made this singular block section here of tin being surrounded by these steel beams. Now, these steel beams kind of give a nice break in the color of the contrasting colors, of the steel or the iron and the steel beams. So nice silverish kind of gray color there with the black steel. So that was fairly simple. I just mapped out the shape of this building that I wanted to do, and then I just went through, copied all of these pieces into an actual build that I could then copy and paste. So once this was all selected, it was fairly straightforward from this point to just raise this up to the level that I wanted it to be. Of course, I could have gone through and individually done this, but this was a lot quicker. I think this whole steel structure on stream probably took me maybe 20 minutes to do, so it was really quite quick. So this is really a great way to work with scenery pieces. If scenery pieces aren't able to be copied and pasted like this, then do the method that I showed in the previous episode, where you just place down one of these small little corner pieces of building, and then you can just paste them all into that and turn it into a building, and then copy and paste as much as you want. You don't have to worry about making blueprints and stuff like that if you build that way. Like I mentioned in the last episode, I may do a little video explaining that in more detail for anyone that's still not sure. If there's anyone here that's not sure why I use these block pieces and would like to see a video explaining that, let me know down in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys, and let me know, and I'll try and put out one of those videos in the next few days. Probably only be like a 2-minute, 3-minute video, but if anyone's unsure of how that kind of works and how that will save them time with building in Planet Coaster, then I think that video is something that may help out a few of you guys that aren't so sure about how that works as of yet. So like I said, if you don't know how that works, then let me know, and I will definitely make a little update video for you guys on that, so you guys can, you know, start building a little bit faster and not have to worry about making blueprints all the time for stuff that isn't copy and pasteable. I don't even know if that's a word, pasteable, probably not, but there we go. So you can see like the main structure now of this iron kind of side part of this building is complete. Now I did want the area around these two lift hills to actually be a little bit taller, and then have kind of like a gap in between these. So I did raise up two separate little buildings here on the left and the right hand side that surrounds these lift hills, just to give this building a little bit more height and a little bit more depth and shape to it, because just having a rectangle building is not that great to look at. It's not very attractive, and it didn't really feel too factory like to me at the time. So I wanted to raise these up and actually kind of close in a little bit more around these lift hill sections of the ride. So when you're riding this, whether you're going forward or backwards, you're getting pulled up these kind of steel or iron sections and then just being dropped straight down. And the great thing is, when you're going up, facing upwards at nighttime, there's just opening at the top and you can see all the stars above and everything. It's really great. People love on stream to ask me to turn it to nighttime and just ride this and watch the stars and stuff. It sounds really cheesy, but I will do a POV of it in the day and at the nighttime once this is all complete, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But it is really great, and I'm glad I kept the top of these buildings open. So we are in a little bit of a time-lapse POV right now, so you will see kind of what I mean about exiting the top of the building there. It was really quick, so you didn't actually see much right there, but yeah, it's really great to have those open. I'm really glad I decided to do that, because I was just going to cap them off and make them completely inside originally, but I decided to leave that section open. So yeah, we are inside here for just a few seconds, just making a few amendments to the inside of this building, just so we had even sized doors or doorways there to enter into the second section. Now this little bit of the building that we were just in there, that's the main inside of the factory. That's the biggest area, and later on in the series we will be working extensively on the inside of there. So we'll be getting a lot of machinery, a lot of pipes, trigger work going on with steam coming out of pipes and smoke coming out, and moving parts with cogs and wheels, and all that kind of crazy stuff is going to be going into that main section, because obviously that's the main part of the factory where the supposed stuff is being made. And of course that's the area that you're in the most. You can see most stuff when you're riding this coaster in that section of the factory, so it just makes sense to have the main factory machinery inside that building. Now as you can see, I did have to make a few alterations to the roof of this building, because unfortunately if you were to ride this currently, your feet would be chopped off by the top of this building. So had to move the roofing pieces just a tad over, so people didn't have amputations to their feet while riding this. Once that was sorted, it was all okay, so we didn't have to worry about that anymore after I decided to go back in and just, you know, change out the size of that roof just a little bit. So once that was done, there was no more amputations to be made, and people's feet were fine, and there were not going to be lawsuits coming to my live stream park, which is great, because no one wants to have people leaving with feet that they came to the park with, if that makes sense. So yes, just wanted to make sure that that was all safe and ready for my guests to jump on, and something I didn't have to go back and change a little bit later on in the series. So luckily enough, I caught that early on and saw that that was a little bit of a danger and got that changed out. So just finishing up the top of these roof pieces here, putting the little borders in, nothing too special, but something that just caps off the top of this building. It really does look great from the side, just seeing these machinery steel structures coming out of the top of those buildings. And of course the top of those lift hills there are animated, so the top spin and all of that, and it really does just add to the kind of factory feel of the building. Now later on in the series, I may actually add kind of like a smoke screen or a steam screen at the top of those openings, so when you're going up it's kind of smoky and then you pop out of the top. The only problem with that is not all of the cars make it out of the top, so if you're riding further back in the seats, then you wouldn't actually see out, if that makes sense, because you wouldn't make it through the smoke or the steam screen. So I'm not really too sure whether that's something I'm going to do yet. You guys can let me know in the comments if you think that is a good idea. But yeah, as you can see, just put in some final touches now on the exterior shell of the building. I think at this point, most of the shell or the exterior of this is complete. So we're just doing a little spin around right now. I don't know what that was. I think I was showing someone in the stream some other areas of the park there, so sorry about that. But yeah, what we're doing right now is actually building a chute. I don't really know the technical word for this, but in a lot of factories they have these kind of tin chutes that extend between buildings at an angle. I'm not sure really what they're for. Maybe they have some sort of transport in them for moving pieces between the factory, or maybe they do just like drop stuff down them to get them from one area to another. We're actually putting these chutes in between the silos and the main factory, so maybe there's something stored in the silo that needs to be sent between the two buildings here. So that's what we're currently building, this little chute. And this was actually really difficult to build, but I'm really glad that I actually built this, because it really does add to the factory feel. I think without this kind of chute here on the side of this building, it looked like a factory, but this really finishes off the factory feel. Now of course, currently this building doesn't have any windows on it, so it still doesn't look so factory like, if that makes sense. Trust me when I say this, once the windows are in, it just completely changes the feel of this whole building. This whole building goes from, yeah, that could be a factory, to that is definitely a factory. And that's kind of what I was going for. I mean, you want people to instantly know what this building is, and I think once the windows are in the next episode, then you'll really start to feel that, yeah, this is a factory. I know what that is straight away, kind of thing. And that's what I was going for. So yeah, in the next episode, once those windows are in, you guys are really going to start to really like this building and kind of want to see this building get complete, I suppose. So as you can see, the shell of this kind of steel or iron chute here is now in place. We're just putting the top pieces on. Now, I did actually have a nearly catastrophe. Is that even a word? Nearly a catastrophe. We had a really bad crash just after building this chute, and I thought all was lost because I hadn't saved it for a while. Fortunately enough, the auto save kind of saved the day. Ironically, the auto save saved the day, and we didn't actually lose too much. I think it actually auto saved about 30 seconds before we had this crash. Really unexpected crash. I don't really know why it happened. It just happened out of the blue. I don't normally get crashes in Planet Coaster, so to have a crash after I think a 6-hour live stream. I was streaming for 6 hours doing this park, and then the crash, and I was kind of worried that I'd lost a lot of it. But thankfully Planet Coaster has a really good autosave system in place that always seems to work, so thanks to that I didn't have to rebuild anything. So yeah, we're just currently placing the exterior shell to our chute here, as you guys can see. This was actually fairly simple to do. Obviously the orientation that you can get with these pieces really does help with expanding something up at an angle. So this wasn't too much of an issue. I just whizzed these up the side of here, and as you can see, like even with the little bits of zooming out that I'm doing while I'm building this, you guys can kind of see what I was going for with this section. This kind of little ramp area that would kind of hold, I don't really know what it would hold, like something that needs to be moved between the buildings, I guess. That's what these are used for. Obviously I don't know much about factories in real life, I just know what they look like. So maybe if someone happens to have worked in a factory that had one of these things, let me know what these are actually for. I'm actually really intrigued to see if anyone knows what these little chute things are for. But yeah, we're getting close to the end of today's episode. I'm not really too sure what else we get done in today's. Oh yeah, that's it. We actually build or we start to dig out a little underground car park area. So that's what we're doing right now, just digging a hole to place some sort of road or kind of car park area. We do actually expand on this in the next episode. Hopefully you guys will tune in to next episode, and we get some automatic opening gates for cars and stuff to go down. Now, one suggestion that someone in my stream suggested me to do was, of course, add a main road and some housing for the workers of the factory, and then obviously incorporate that into the design of this area of the park. So I'm thinking that what I'm going to do once the factory is complete is actually build some sort of olden day kind of factory worker houses, and then actually have a road that joins the factory and those houses together, and then set up a one of those track rides with the old-fashioned, like the 50s or 60s cars or whatever they are, as a track ride that runs along the paths, because obviously with the new update and the no clip, you can actually place those cars straight onto the paths. So we can have a pathway that guests can walk down, and we can have these cars driving along it as if it's a road. So there's lots of stuff we can do with those track rides now, which is really great thanks to the 1.2 update. I believe it's 1.2.1 now, because they did some fixes. But yeah, that update is really awesome. So there's lots of stuff we can do with actually incorporating one of those rides into this build once it's complete. So as you can see, we just dug that hole. We got a road down there after a little bit of tweaking, and that's our underground section or car park, I guess. We may actually have the track ride run down there to make it look like cars are going in, coming out of the car park. That would be really great. Not 100% sure if that's something we're going to work on yet, but we'll see in later episodes. So that was a lot of information to take in this little 19-minute video, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. That is pretty much it for today's update video for this ride. Stay tuned. In the next few days we will have episode 3, and episode 3 is where everything kicks off. The windows will be in episode 3. A lot more details will start to go in, and hopefully you guys are still really enjoying this series. It just gets better from here, guys. I'm not lying. It gets completely better. And if you're really interested in this, then make sure you tune into the live streams, because we're working on this currently in the live streams. So definitely check out the live stream when it goes live. Just pop in for 10 minutes and have a little look at what's going on, and hopefully I'll see you guys in there. And that's it for today's episode, guys. So if you enjoyed this, remember to drop a like. That really helps. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this build, and maybe if we get, I don't know, 40 likes on this, I'll upload the next video even sooner for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.